Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Paranormal InvesTEAgators. I haven't got normal tea today, I've just got herbal, but it's peach, so it's pretty good. Today, we're going to be talking about the classic market town, Barking, and that originated in 1175 and was revived as recently as 1991. As a child and a teenager and a young adult, I used to go to Barking quite a bit as my brother lived there and there were several comic book shops and several science fiction and geeky shops I used to go to. So I used to frequent the area quite a bit. Well, we're going to get back to that later. Now, one of the most famous hauntings is a picture that someone took of a ghost in a window in Eastbury Manor House. Now, this graded Elizabethan house was fully shut. There was no one about, but two people thought they would walk the grounds and have a look round and see how it went, even though it was shut and they couldn't access the museum or the grounds or the inside of the house. They thought they would take a look around and take some photos. Now, they felt a chill in the air. You know when you feel that someone's walked over your grave? Well, while they were taking photos, they felt this exact chill. And this is where, when they got back and got the photos developed, they saw the ghost of a spooky child in the window. And this has actually haunted the two of these people for quite some time. They remember it now, and they still talk about it to this day. And their names are Joanne Puffett and Diane de Groot. And they have often gone back to try and get more photos to no avail. But this is an exciting experience indeed. And you can look up this article on Haunted Barking, and I think it was on an internet site. So if you want to have a look at that, you too can have a look at this. Now, like I was saying, I have been to Barking quite a lot in my childhood and early teens and adulthood because my brother used to live there while he was alive. Rest in peace. But now this is where it gets to it. I was very young at the time. I can't even remember how old I was really. A bit younger than Badger Junior. So not really old enough to know what was going on at the time, but you know when your memory kicks in afterwards. So I'd been around my brothers a fair bit, he was a family man, always made me and my dad and my mum welcome for meals and Christmas and all that sort of stuff. So one time we get round there, and I noticed that all the doors had taken off each thing. And even my nephew was like, oh yeah, if I remember. And he went, and all the doors were taken off of the lounge, the kitchen, and upstairs, and even the toilets. There was no doors. And I was like, why is there no doors? And at the time, they were just like, oh yeah, we're just refitting them. And I was like, okay, okay. And then all of a sudden, the next time we went around, not only was there no doors, but each of the windows were barred shut as well. And I was like, this is really strange. Even for a young child, I was like, this is a bit weird, isn't it? And I asked my mum and dad, and they didn't know anything about it. Now, as weeks went on, I found out that apparently there was a poltergeist in my brother's flat at the time. And not only was it opening and shutting windows um, that were there in the flat, it was opening and shutting the windows, but it was banging the doors while everyone was out. So it was banging doors, opening windows. And of course, to begin with, people thought it was Barking. It's not exactly the best area in London. So people were worried that they were getting robbed and things like that, which is quite scary. Sometimes human interaction can be a lot scarier than the paranormal. But no, it was definitely a poltergeist. So not only were the doors banging, the windows banging and opening by themselves and stuff, but my brother's prized heavy metal collection of like things like Iron Maiden, Meatloaf and other bands like Metallica, apparently they had all started to play backwards, which is, can you imagine if you had a record playing and it started playing strangely? That gives me chills and then multiplying. But yeah, can you imagine that if you're listening to some music on a record player or a CD or even a tape and it started to whir funny and play backwards? That would really give you the jeebies. Now, I don't remember what the end cause of the situation was, but I do remember my sister-in-law having to get the Irish priest in and bless the flat and rid of whatever was there. You know, there's a mosque and everything nearby. It's an old-fashioned market town. It's very busy, lots of traffic, lots of travellers. Some sort of energy must have been in that flat, whether or not it was paranormal, good or bad. There was definitely some sort of energy there that was up to mischief. So they had to get the Irish priest in, bless each room, and sort everything out, and douse holy water along. And it was quite rare that they were able to do that. So the evidence and the priest and everything they must have seen some stuff that really made them want to do it, because it was very hard to get the priest out to do that, even then in the early 90s and stuff. So can you imagine what my brother and my sister-in-law had to go through? It's quite spooky. Not that I saw much of it, but I can imagine that there must have been a straw that broke the camel's back, and the priest must have seen some stuff, and they must have had some really hard times there. But yeah, thankfully, when the priest did the sort of water and everything, apparently it sort of went away, which is fantastic. Now, you can fast forward about 15, well, yeah, 14 years, and I went back there. Obviously, I'm quite friendly with my brother at the time. I used to house sit and things like that when these cats were away. So what used to happen was that I would babysit the cats. Now, some friends come over after the pub one time. There was, some quite nice pubs in Barking. At least there was in the early 90s. There probably still is now. There's a rather smashing Moon and Stars at the station. So that was a thing. So we obviously toddled back. And I told my friends at the time that this was a haunted flat. Ooh. And you can imagine that there was a few bumps in the night and a few people did not get that much sleep, which is quite funny. Even though it's been, sorted out now, every now and again, when I went back there, even as a sort of an adult, I felt a slight tingling on my back. Like maybe it had gone, but maybe not all of it had gone, if you understand what I mean. Like it felt like there was still something a bit spooky there still, like a bit of an aura. So that's one tale from me, and hopefully Viking will be back soon with us to tell some more tales, and hopefully be going out on some cool visits as well soon. I've got a few more stories I'm going to tell you in the coming weeks as well. So when Viking is not about to do the vlogs or do the visits out into the paranormal areas, I will be telling you some personal stories. So thank you very much for watching, and please feel free to tell us some spooky stories of your area or something weird that's happened to you or your family. Indeed, and I look forward to sharing some other spooky stories with you guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.